It has been said by the ancients that there would come a day when the world would understand their prophecies. It would be a time of darkness and strange things, a time that we would have to become aware of a choice that would lead us into destruction or something better. A new heaven and a new earth, as though there is an old heaven and an old earth at the same time. This is reminiscent of ancient claims that the earth has been destroyed several times before, and that we are on our sixth or seventh earth now, which didn't make much sense until lately. We are going to start in the Bible. Revelation 21, verse 1 says, "And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea." If we are meant to understand this prophecy, can we spot anything around us that might point to what this means? Yes. I have found several clues, and I'm going to present to you a theory on how this can all come about. An amazing increase in knowledge over the last century has opened the door to quantum physics and puts us on the cutting edge of where science and the Bible come together. Quantum physics explains how time, space, life, and dimensions are all carefully woven together, connected somehow. It is the acknowledgement of how we are connected, not just that we are connected, that makes this even more compelling. A breakthrough study known as the double slit experiment exposed how one electron can be in two or more places at once, or neither. This connects to a growing awareness that there are different dimensions, and that, like the electron, in these dimensions there are also slightly different versions of ourselves, and that in some dimensions we are not there at all. I believe I got a glimpse of this when I was very little. I was just too little to understand. I'm not sure many adults could have understood, really. I had this really ugly doll, but I didn't have a lot of dolls to play with. In fact, besides this doll for a while, I only remember my Pooh Bear. All the others were learning toys. I played with this doll a lot, and then one day I couldn't find it anymore. It seemed like a few months went by, and one day my parents parked the car and turned around with a box with some simple string wrapping around it. They were excited to see me open the surprise. I opened it and saw my missing doll. My eyebrow cocked and my eyes squinted at them like I was waiting for them to explain themselves. Suddenly, their excited look was gone, and instead there was a look of confusion. They asked me what was wrong, and I asked them why they gave me something I already had. They swore they had never given me that gift before, but I wouldn't play with it after that because at the time I believed they were crazy. But it later somehow occurred to me that, like the electron experiment, that I had somehow had the doll and not had the doll at the same time. I went from a place that my doll was taken or lost to a place where the doll was restored to me. What if, like the electrons that are a part of our makeup, we can make a choice once we are made aware of what it is? Is there a way to zero in and clarify the choice? There is a clue. An old Hopi prophecy found on an American rock. It is familiar to many already. This rock shows that mankind will eventually have to make a choice. One choice leads to destruction and the other leads to restoration. But what if it wasn't talking about a group choice to be made as a whole? What if it was speaking about a choice that each man would have to make someday, and that each man would end up in one place or the other? Which brings us full circle back to Revelation 21:1. How else would we arrive on that new earth unless we are living in one frame of mind or the other? Our thoughts and moods affect the general frequency that we emit, which would make the choice more obvious when they say we have to choose good or evil, nothing in between, because the frequency we emit will determine which earth we end up on in the very end. One earth where God dwells among us, and another earth that is destroyed. According to Revelation 21:1, this will happen, and until now was a mysterious verse for all who read it, until now. The single biblical event is not a dated one. I have no idea when in God's time that a part of mankind will find everything made new, even Jerusalem. There will be a new heaven also, one that is purged and made anew. Only those who make it will even begin to understand, but one day we will. Just some things to ponder, and if you enjoyed this video, give it a like and share it. Subscribe while you're at it. God bless you all, and I'll talk to you next time.